Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Lokman Akembe Rusman and my matric number is 138836. Today I will be talking about polychlorinated biphenyls, or commonly known as PCB as the short form. PCB is not an individual element or mixture, but it is a compound that contains 209 individual mixtures with varying harmful effects. So it is mainly made of carbon, hydrogen, and chlorine, and it is extremely toxic to human health. PCB is a stable mixture, which means it has fire resistant, high stability, does not conduct electricity easily, has low vitality, and can withstand extreme temperature and pressure. Due to this resistance and stability of PCB, it is mainly used in processing machine as a hydraulic fluids, heat transfer fluids, lubricants, and plasticizer. So in machine, we usually use oils to lubricate the machine, and PCB are commonly included in one of the substance of the oil. So in 2002, it is categorized into POPs, persistent organic pollutant. POPs actually a substance that if being exposed or leaked into the environment, it can stay in the environment for a long time and does not disintegrate easily. So after a long time and after a very wide exposure, then it will start to disintegrate into the non-harmful substance. So it has a clear to yellowish color but with no smell or taste. And when PCB first started to being produced, it is known as Arochlor and not PCB. And in 1970s, it is banned by the US Environmental Protection Agency, USEPA, due to the health effects associated with exposure due to the extremely toxic behavior of PCB. So the exposure of PCB can bring dangerous effect to human health. That's why it is being banned by the USEPA in 1970s. So we know that PCB are extremely toxic and harmful chemical. So what are the health risks of PCB? Uh, so people get PCB contamination depends on the amount of PCB that entered the body, how long you were exposed, and how sensitive your body is to PCB. So some people may be exposed to PCB in a short time, but it doesn't show any effect or symptoms. So one of the most common and severe disease of PCB contamination is colorectal, which is a small, pale yellow skin lesion. So it is found that short-term change in the activity of liver of PCB contamination is similar to consumption to smoking or drinking alcoholic beverages. And PCB contamination also affect the immune system, endocrine system, and reproductive system in animals and humans. And it is known to cause cancer in short exposure in animals. And the USEPA has categorized PCB as a probable human carcinogen, which means that if you are being exposed to PCB, there's a chance that you can get cancer due to PCB contamination. But previous studies has shown that no evidence that long exposure to human can cause cancer. The PCB contamination may not be that severe to other people, but the reason it is banned because it shows a severe health risk to pregnant women. So when the pregnant woman is being contaminated with PCB, the chemicals can be passed on to the unborn baby through the breast milk or uterus. So when the child is born, it is known to have a birth defect, and PCBs are linked to premature birth, which means the baby is born before the due date of 9 months. And the child contaminated with PCBs are found to have lower IQ than the child who do not. So all of these reason and health risk to pregnant women has been shown in a few famous case study related with PCB in Yusho, Japan and YUCHENG, Taiwan. Let's go to the first case study of PCB contamination in Yusho, Japan. It occurred in 1968 and due to this event it is called Yusho disease. During this time, around 1,300 people got sick after consuming rice bran oil contaminated with PCB heat transfer agent. The PCB is used as a heat transfer agent in the processing machine that produce the rice bran oil. So there's some leaking occur and that's how PCB contaminate the rice bran oil. So it causes several chloracne, dark brown pigmentation and ocular swelling, especially in children. And studies shows that it is found that high rate of stillbirth occur during the active exposure, which means the pregnant women undergo abortion because the fetus in the uterus died at around 20 to 28 weeks. And some children that has been born after their mother being exposed to the PCB has discolored skin and nails as well as premature teeth. And the sizes also relatively small if being compared to the normal baby. So another studies that show a group of children shows a different symptoms such as lethargy, hypotonia, jerkiness, clumsy movement, apathy, and low IQ due to PCB contamination. So this case study in Yusho has raised concern about the potential neurotoxicity of PCB in the whole world. So that's why it is being banned by the whole world. So next case in Yucheng, Taiwan in 1975. The Taiwan Governmental Agency, Food Industry Research and Development Institute, introduced the same rice bran oil as the new healthy cooking oil to the people in Yucheng, Taiwan. All the machine, all the procedure of making the rice bran oil and all the lubricants and heat transfer agent are used the same as the one in Yusho, Japan. So during the production of the rice bran oil, the leaking in the oil processing machine which contain PCB contaminate the oil. So during the active exposure, after a few months being exposed, so it is found that 9 out of 39 fetuses in uterus that being exposed died uh, just before their birth or around the birth. So one of the famous disease from this case study in Yucheng, Taiwan due to PCB are koala babies. So the children from exposed mother has dark pigmented skin, delayed development, low IQ, head and genitals pigmentation, and boys found to have a shorter penis. So one of the reason why this PCB is very harmful and extremely dangerous is that it is found that the exposure still affect the children born long after the active exposure in 1975. 7 years. Even after 7 years, the child born still has the same symptom as the one who born in 1975 due to the exposure of the PCB. Next, we go into the PCB in Malaysia. So Malaysia banned the use of PCB rather late than any other countries. So the importation of PCBs is banned in Malaysia in June 1998 when the first schedule of the Customs Prohibition of Imports Order 1998 of the Customs Act 1967 came into effect. So after research had been done, the Food and Drug Authority (FDA) in the US set the concentration limit for PCB is 300 parts per billion, which means the safe limit of the PCB concentration that can be found in the environment is 300 parts per billion. But in 1985, studies on shellfish collected from seabed in Penang coastline that related to PCB shows that PCB's content to be in the range of 400 to 600 parts per billion, which exceeds the safe limit permitted by the Food Drug Authority. So another research in 1996, the PCBs detected in 25 rivers around Malaysia has 0.9 to 2.1 milligram per liter of PCBs content. So it exceeds the level permitted by proposed interim national quality standards for Malaysia, which is at 0.044 milligram per liter maximum. So there's a high concentration of PCB in the rivers around Malaysia. So PCB is extremely dangerous, and we should try to avoid the use of PCB and prevent from being exposed to PCB. That's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.